Good evening, everyone. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of our topping organization to Yog Vaashishtha evening session. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का टॉपलिंग संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूँ. टुडे वी आर ऑन 155th सेशन. आज हम लोग 155वें सत्र में यहाँ पे पहुंच चुके हैं. विल कंटिन्यू आवर सेशन बाय चैंटिंग ओम 3 टाइम्स. अपने सत्र की शुरुआत हम लोग 3 बार ओमकार का उच्चारण करके करेंगे. Today we'll be looking at a very miraculous story of someone called as Kund dant. And in this story, Rama continued to ask questions, and Vasishtha Muni continues to give the answers to those questions. The beauty of today's story is that till now we have seen that the story was told by Vasishtha to Rama. Today's story will be told by Rama to Vasishtha, and then he asked, "What is the deeper meaning of this story? Kindly tell me." So let us see how that is. The first time Rama is telling a story to Vasishtha Muni and then asking the meaning of that story, what is the in-depth detail of that story, is something that we will see today. I welcome all our Zoom participants, all our Facebook viewers and all our YouTube viewers to today's session. अपने सारे Zoom के participant, अपने सारे Facebook के viewers और अपने सारे YouTube के viewers, इन सभी का भी आज के इस सत्र में स्वागत है. Let's continue with our session. Let's sit comfortably and close your eyes. आंखें बंद कर लें. Let us bring our attention to our breath. Breathe in and let go. Take one more deep breath. And let go completely. Let's take a deep breath in for the Omkara chanting. Let us invoke the divinity within. गुरु का आवाहन कर लें. आवाहनम आवाहनम आवाहनम. पुनः पुनः पुनः. सच्चिदानंद रूपोऽहम्. शिवोऽहम्. 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 Let us express our gratitude towards the Master. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Deva Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us pray to the Master. Whatever the words that come out of this mouth, whatever the actions that are happening, whatever the thoughts over onto our mind, and the power of discrimination arise in our intellect, the impressions that might be getting created in our memory, and still there is an iota of that I, me, worship. Let all the known and unknown levels of our existence be inspired by the Master alone. Pray like this. The bondage is of the nature of Chitta. What you are is already free. If the experience of that is already there, let this remaining life be inspired by the Master alone. Pray like this. Feeling the presence of the Master within and outside, slowly and gradually, with a gentle smile on your face, you may open your eyes. Let us continue with our session now. So we are into sub-chapter number 140 today. And we'll be listening to a story of Kund dant. So here, Rama now says this to Vaashishtha. He says, Bhagwan, just like that sun that shines, and that point of time, all the darkness will be removed. Like that, whatever the things that you have told just now, and whatever that I heard, and in this Jagat also, those things that appears to be so clear to me. In such a situation, I have some curiosity going on in my mind, and to get that thing clarified, let me share an very miraculous story with you. And even by listening to that story, one may really get thoroughly confused. Such a story, I really want to understand what is the deeper meaning, what is the knowledge that is that Guyartha, that Lakshartha, what is the moral of the story. I really want to hear from you. So I'll share that story with you. So today, first time, Rama is telling the story, and Vaashishtha Muni and everybody is listening. So let us hear out to what is the story. So he continues that once upon a time, in one of the Abhyasika, in one of the Vidvasabha, there was this code that was going on. In that thing, I was listening to the Shastra Charcha. There was the Manthan, there was the discussion that was going on, and at that point of time, suddenly there is one tapas. So, there is one Rishimuni, some tapasvi is what we can say. That suddenly comes like that. So something which suddenly comes out of the Videha, something which is not there, and Videha Desha, like that, it comes like that, that Tejasvi, that one self-luminous, that having that all the austerity and the tapasamartya, all that powers in that thing, such a person comes, and then he is the one, comes from the, he is a Brahmana, and that just like Durvasa Rishi, there is one also another Rishi called Durvasa. And just like that Durvasa Rishi's stage is, even it is visible from very far away. Like that, he comes and then he bow down to the entire court, and that time he comes and sits into the asana over there. And like that, this Shrestha Tapas are looking at that. There is a dialogue that continues. He says, Muni Maharaj, all these things, you have come from so far, so must have been tired, and now this. So kindly tell me, what is the purpose of you being here? What is it that thing that you have come here? Kindly tell me that. So now this is all who is saying. It's the Rama who is telling the story how he has come across in one of his own experience, and he's sharing that into the court where Vasishtha Muni, Vishwamitra, Dashrath Raja, and all the dignitaries, they are all listening to it. So when I asked that Brahmana, why is that you have come here? Kindly let us know the objective, the purpose of you being here today. We would like to listen to you. That is the point of when that Brahmana, that he tells, hey Rajan, I really have come here with some background, and I do have an objective. So then he tells about himself that I come from this on the earth, and then there is this particular Pradesha called Videha Pradesha, and that is where I born into one of the Brahman Kula. And then after that I studied, and after that earning that knowledge, like that, because of there is this flower called Kandakaya. There is this one type of flower. Because of I earned that, I become very self-luminous. Because of that, this name has been given to me called Kund dant. His name, just telling the story of how he actually got that name. So they say that my name, they gave me the name of the Kund dant, and I become famous with that name. So after some time, and then I got into dispassion, I got into Vairagya, and then what is that needs to be done? Okay, what is that I should do? I was not able to get. So I went into one of the ashrama. I started going here and there, and then I looked into the temples, into the gurukuls, etc., etc. I started thing. And then after going through all these things, I came at the bottom of this mountain here, and that is where I started doing the tapascharya. That is where I started doing the austerity, and that is where I saw one of the tree over there, and in that tree, below that akasha, with all the branches, that tree was there, and below that tree, I started doing my austerity. I started doing my sadhana, tapasya. So that vriksha, that was very small one, and inside that there was this. He also tells the name of that. It's called Shalmali. That name of the tree was Shalmali over there, and then there that is where I saw. Now who is telling this? This Kund dant is telling that I started searching for. I was searching for a place to go and do some sadhana and tapasya. That is when I reached to this vriksha, that Shalmali vriksha. It is of type Kadamba. There is another type of tree called Kadamba vriksha. So in that Kadamba vriksha, I saw there is this tapasvi. So there is this tapasvi who is hanging with his leg up and his head down. I saw there is one such tapasvi who was hanging over there. And here, and then once I noticed that, I went around him, I noticed that that particular tapasvi is still alive, and his prana also is shwasana, his breath was also continuing. So I came to know that he is probably doing some tapascharya, some tapa, and he is still alive. So then looking at these things, I really became curious. Who is he? What is he doing here? Like that. So because of that, I decided to be there for some time, and then be with him. And then once he kind of wakes up, or he comes into the Jagruta Avastha, probably then I can have an interaction. So like this, he continued to stay there for next couple of months. And after that, that particular tapas, he comes he becomes in a Jagruta Avastha. That is where he asks that, hey Bhagwan, who are you? And then why are you doing such a austerity, such a tapasya, and that to such a ugra tapa? No? Why are you doing that? Even your shastra, your breath also has become very feeble. No? Because of that, even I was not even initially able to know whether you are alive or not. I got confused initially. So that is where um, that Kadamba Tapasa, that Rishi Muni, that who was doing that austerity over there, he says to Kund dant that because I come from such and such kula, I come from such a things. The reason I am doing this is because he was first saying that, okay, where do I come from? What do I do here? And why I am doing this tapa, etc. Why is it that you would like to know? Mind your own business. No, instead of like, let me go into my dhyana. I am just I want to go and experience that again. Even if I tell you all these things, how that will help you by knowing all that. And like after saying like this, again he goes back to into the meditation. But then he again comes back next time, he becomes Jagrut, and he again sees that he is still there. So then he asks again, he again says that, why do you need it? But he again and again, no? Very politely he keeps asking. So because of that only he says that, see, this is how it is, that after going through all that thing, I really did not want it to do. And then once upon a time, I had this and kind of itcha, this thing that I want to be the Lord of this earth. This Saptadipa, which is Saptadipa means all the things, that I want to be a ruler of this. So because I want to become Swami of this, I want to be a ruler of this. Because of that only, I am doing this tapa, and like this 12 years are already passed after doing this tapa. So like this, he says that, okay, and then I will continue to do this tapa. Then probably he'll say that, and then what is it that, why will you listen to that? He says that the one who are wise people, they do not get bored out of listening such a story. So I am really interested what has happened with you. You kindly continue to tell. And after that, he says that after this, again, he goes back into meditation. He said that whenever you feel like you do share your thing, and unless until you fulfill your, I will continue to do your seva. You continue your thing. So like this, he continued to does his one fine day. After that, he sees that out of the sun, that Surya Narayana comes or appear over there, and then he gives him that, okay, fine. He gives him that boon, that okay, you will become what you are looking for, and that boon is what he gets. Kund dant says that till this point of time, I have never seen, I have just read about all these things, but that particular day I saw that how does the Surya Narayana actually comes and then he blesses somebody. I saw that is happening with that Kadamba Tapasa. So he continues that like this, he will become the Lord of this entire earth, and like that. After then his tapa and his uddesha, that object is completed. So both of them now start walking, and on their way path they enter into the one of the ashrama. So that ashrama is of the Gauri, no, Devi Gauri ashrama is there. So they goes there, and that is the point of them. They go and see, and inside that, into that ashrama, they see there is another this tree, and below that tree there is another person who is sitting there and doing the meditation. So he says like this, Mitra, like he says that this is what has happened. He explains that how he has actually come here, what has happened with me. So he says that like me, there are 7 brothers. So we were actually 8 brothers. And then we all 8 brothers wanted to do this like this. So we all started going this. And then I happened to come to here. And then I was there in this ashrama, into this Devi Gauri ashrama. I stayed for some time. And after that, then I left for doing this sadhana. The other 7 brothers also, they also continued to do this. So now I wanted to see where they are, what they are. So once he is looking for that, he doesn't see any Parnakuti there. He doesn't see that ashram, even not the any birds, animals, or not even the people around. But after going and searching further, they just see one more tree over there, and in below that tree there is one more person who is sitting there and meditating. So that point of time, when he is not opening his eyes, this Kund dant and this tapasvi, he says that, Baba, when are you going to wake up? So by listening to that, just like a lion comes out of his sleep and how he will roar, like that he comes out of his sleep, he gives the yawning, and then after that he looks at it, and then he asks, who are you, both the sadhus? Who are you? Why? And he asked that where this Gauri ashram, that when he started meditating, that point of time there was that ashram, but now when he comes out of his meditation, that thing, nothing has left, it's all disappeared. So he said, where that is gone, I was here, I was meditating, so much of time frame have gone. And that is where he says that the one, that whatever the things that you are probably you are not aware, you will be able to know it because you are the yogi. And then by listening to that, he just closes his eyes, he gets into meditation, and then about himself and about these two people also he understands everything, and then he opens it and he says that, oh, aho ashcharya, it is such a miraculous place, that is that what you come from. Now I know everything about both of you, what is going to happen. So like that he says that this ruksha is there, into this kadam ruksha, that is where my nivastana, that is where I stay. So around this, there was this for 10 years, the Saraswati, Gauri Saraswati, she had come here, and because her presence was there, this all the location was full of all the Rishiji Swamis. They came and accompanied here, they stayed over here, and it was full, that Nandanavana. It was a very beautiful, place was there, and she got famous with the name of Kadamba Saraswati. She was staying here, Shankara's this Ardhangini. That Parvati came here, and she was there for the Pradirga time. Like that she came, and like that she in this Gauri Vana only, all these 8 brothers, they were doing the tapa. That is where doing the tapa. So that point of time, all these 8 people, they also they also become the tapasvi, and they also completed their things, and they also got this vara. So one of them, then after being here, one of them went to it's different paths. One of them went to the Ekantavasa alone to tapas. The other one went to the Kartika Swami Ashrama. The third one went to the Varanasi. The fourth one went to the Himalaya, and the other 4 they stayed here to do the Varapana. So like that he says, and out of that I also went, and I did my tapasya. So all of them got this boon, that all they will become the Adhipati, they will become the Lord of this earth. That did Isha, because saying that they did this, and I stayed here below this Kadam Ruksha, and that is how I am here. That is how he tells all these things. Now he says, now I have told you all these things, now you continue. I will continue with my meditation, and you guys both do whatever you want to do. Like. Then in between, what happens, that when this tapasvi is telling, then that went up, and I asked him, this Kund dant, I asked to that. He says that, okay, what happens? How come this is possible? That you told me that they will all got the same word. That boon is given to everybody, all 8 of them, that they all will become the Prithvi Adhipati. Prithvipati means the Lord of this earth. How is that possible? How all of them got this boon, and then how that will be materialized? So that is where he continued to tell them the story, that okay, this is nothing, something more miraculous that has happened. When these people were there at their places, they were married, and their wives did the tapasya, and they also got the boon, that what they asked for that whenever their husband is no more there, he has to stay along with them only. So they should not be able to leave that palace. They should stay always, even when they are there, or even after that also they should be staying. Just like that Lilavati has the boon, they also has the boon. Now, if they are staying there, they do not come out of that hall at all, how will they become the Prithvi Adhipati? no, that entire earth, how will they become the all the 8 of them will become. Now this is another thing. Now there is one vara is there, one Boon is there. Now there is another one that also has to satisfy. Both are in contrast with each other. Because if one is fulfilled, other will not get fulfilled. Such a kind of situation. After that, there is another miraculous thing that happens. So he says, while going through all these things, while going through all this Ashtaputra, and their mom and dad, they become dukhi, they become really frustrated about these things. And because of that, they started going to the Tirtha Yatra, pilgrimage. And while going through on that thing, they got to see one person sitting over there, the small person, and he has put the bhasma and he was all the, but they did not notice him when they go, and he was actually a Durvasa Rishi. So the Durvasa Rishi is just that, okay, you are going for such and such a good work, you are going on a pilgrimage and all that, but you did not notice me. All the gods and all the siddhas, they come in front of me and they want my blessings, and you did not even notice, you did not even bow down to me. We know that Durvasa is known for giving the curse. He gets angry very soon. So he does the same thing to them, that okay, all these things, whatever you are thinking, then see Mahamurka and Patni and all these things is something to them. And then all this punya, whatever you are doing, that whatever you get, it will be diminished, because them like this. That all this phala prapti you will do to them, and all your the daughter-in-laws and all their things also, that will also vanish. All their punya karma, that will also vanish. Now this is another third contradiction. No, the conflict in coming into picture, that there is one vara that they will become all the lordship of the earth. There is another var that they will stay in their hall only there. They will not be able to go out. They will all remain. And now there is this curse is again in contrast with that. How that will happen then? No? So such a situation that comes into picture. So now this is where the conflict between those comes, that there is a word and then there is a sharp. He says like this, it continued drama into this Gauri Ashramas Kadam Tapasa, that one who wanted to become that Adhipati, that this is where the Vaashishtha Muni tells, right? That there is Rama like this. So Kund dant is told Rama like this. Not here in Vaashishtha Muni's Sabha, that where the Yog Vaashishtha is telling about the Vrittanta which he heard, and that Kund dant is telling to the Rama, this is what happened to me, like this it happened. So then let me tell you, continue to explain what has happened with those 8 brothers. He says after that, when they go back to the Mathura, their place, that point of time they spend their time, and after that all the 8 of them died. And after they died, then their Ativaik Shari, that Mrutadeha, that was burned, but their that Ativaik Shari was still there, and they did all remain. Now because of this sthiti, that Vara and Shapa, Mukta Karma, that karma has happened, that phal has happened, and to do that, their Ishtadeva, the one who blessed them to achieve that, and the one, the other one, that Durvasa, because of the Durvasa Shapa, that thing also came into picture, and there was the fight was about to begin between the one who wanted to fulfill that boon and the one who wanted to fulfill that Durvasa Shapa, the conflict between them. So they are about to begin that fight. Means before that only, the Vara, the one who wanted to fulfill their boon, they told to what is it, why to fight it anyway, there will not be any conclusion of it. Instead of that, ultimately what we will do, let us do that in the first place. Let's go to Brahmadev and ask him what is this conflict and how this conflict can be resolved. So that point of that Vara and that Shaf, the one who wanted to fulfill that, they go and appear in front of Brahmadeva. So what is it that Brahmadeva tells them? That Brahmadeva says that, look at this, whatever you are telling all these things, you really focus on whatever is there inside you, into your whatever your antasara, that is what will be materialized. It's not that you are fighting and this thing that will have any effect. So what is it that is there in the antasara that you see? So what will be there inside the antasara? obviously the one who wanted to achieve that, they want to be the gods. They not gods, they wanted to be the lordship of this Swami of this earth, because that is something which has been thought again and again, that has become the Dridha Nishchaya, again and again, that has become very firm. And the one who's varas, and they got inside their thing, what is it that they observed? Okay, this Antasara is there. But what happened with the Shapa? Does anybody want to get cursed, and does anybody wants to get experience the dukkha? So that Antasara, when it went inside, it did not found that that was all repeated and that Dridha Nishchaya wasn't there. So he said, then you know the story. Now this Var will always take over that Shrapa. No? So that is where they both understand what is that Antasara, what is there inside, and they agree. And then that this Shapa says that, okay, I accept my defeat, I will go off. Now this Yuvaras, you go and do your thing. So you continue to do your thing, what is there. So that point of time, now again when they come back here, those two Varas, the one Var which is there of the one which they will experience the lordship of this planet, and the another Vara is there that they have to stay there into like that. So obviously they are also in contrast which either what will happen. So that is where the Brahmadeva tells him the story, that he continue, what is it that one has to do. So he says that like this, those things, this all of them stays there, their body dies, and they after their bodies die, they comes into the form of this Chitta Akasha. And the moment they comes into the form of Chitta Akasha, becomes into the form of Ativahik Sharir, that point of time, then any obstacle will be there for them to experience like this. So they says that out of this, all the 8 bandhus, where they come from, all these things. And he says, now there is one more question that is been asked here, that in the Shrutis, we have read in the Shruti that this earth, that earth is only one. How come 8 people will rule that? No, like this also question is being asked here, that in this Bhupita, that is no other is there, there is only one. And then this is because of this thing, how they will go and how they will experience this. That is where the Brahmadeva tells them that this is about Vyashti Jiva we are talking about, but into the Samashti Jiva, into that Pinda and that Brahmanda Yukta, which is full of both of this, into this, that Jagata Satya, Chitta, Rupa, Parmanu, inside that, it is all these things are appearing just like a dream. It is just like a dream that is exist, and into its Swagruha, that Antar Gruha, Antarbhaga, they were experiencing that. No, what is it so great about it? Anyway, it was just experienced by the Chitta. Their Chitta wanted to experience like that. It will experience what is this so why you are getting so much confused about it, and what is the great wonder about it. So like that, after getting that, after they died, despite they did not have that deha, the body, they came into the Chitta Akasha. And once they came to the Chitta Akasha, into this Shunya Avastha, into this Sukshma Chanmatra, Shunya Akasha Gharaka, into the Chitti, that whatever they wanted to appear their Jagat as that, like that, they become, all of them become with the Saptadipa Yukta Bhumi, and then they into that own all only they started looking just like that Padmaraja took an next birth, like that inside their house only their Chitta manifested this planet Earth, and then in that only they become the ruler of each and every, all the 8 different planets. Even in this, what is so wonderful, because it was just like a dream for them. They become the Chitta, they came at the level of Chitta, and they started imagining like that. And we all know in the Chitta, this Chitta is there, Chaitanya is there, whatever the Chitta imagines, like that, it starts taking form. Whatever the Dridha Nishchaya that happens, that starts manifest itself, right? So that is exactly what happened with all of them, with all these 8 bandhus, all these 8 brothers. They have taken the form of this, they have did the yajna, the karma, and all these things. They become Swayambhu into that Kula. They become the Shasankarta. They become the ruler of that. All of them become the ruler of it. So that is how there all these wishes are fulfilled. These wishes are also fulfilled and their wishes also fulfilled. So in this Adbhut Chidanu, that Chidanu means the Chidakash, in this Adbhut Chidanu, that Atma, which is there in the form of the Chaitanya, like just like in Shunyatva, just like in this, that Ekatva, that is there and Nanatva, both. Either in the Shunya Tattva means nothing is there, Eka Tattva means everything is only that, and also Nana Tattva means into the different form also. In all these three states, the same Chaitanya expresses itself the way this. So that is where, after listening to this, that is where to that Kadamba Tapasa, that who were there, a Brahman, he says that, okay, after listening to this, a Brahman into this small Gruha, that Alpa Ukaksha, all the 8 Saptabhumis, how they came into picture, and in that also that Vivara, how does appear, that appeared to be so real, that how does this Buddhimani, all these people who are so intelligent, why do they spend their time into such a things? How come they, this is really, I'm not able to understand. Can you please tell me one more time, more deeper insights about it? So that is the time it is there that in this, he explains the things, no, the knowledge. The Chidadhatu, that Chidadhatu is there, that is the Moola Sara, Moola Dravya, and that it's like that into that Chido Om Akasha Sarva, into that Chida Akasha, into that Shunya Loka, all these things are there into this Nirakara Shunyatva, whatever is expressed and non-expressed, whether it is in the form of all these things are only one, or you say that it is taking the different form. Ultimately, it, although it appears that something which is very opposite in nature, yet that thing is nothing but only and only Chaitanya. So this is what is the Adhyatma Shastra. This is what is the Nirnaya of Adhyatma Shastra. That is where he says that how does these things which are actually Nirakar, the which does not have Akar, on the Shunyakar, and things, and they appear truthful, the real things, and even the something which is opposite in nature, how does that is possible? Again he asks the question. That is where the Kadamba says to him that in this Shant, this is Shanta Chidakasha, in this peaceful Chidakasha, even though this appears as Nana Tattva, appears as two different forms, into the form of Jala, into the form of all this mountain, etc. This is just an asat, it's not real. Even though form appears over there, but in reality it's not real. It is just in the dream, into that dream, that spandana, that vibration comes into picture, and like that into your dream, even though you see that mountain is there, does that really exist in nature? It doesn't exist. Into this Sadarupa, Dravya Rupa, this is just appearing. Like that it is there, like that only they experienced all these things. So into this Atma, into these things, this Chidakasha, it's all appears like that, but in reality, just like Vichitra Sushupti Avastha, that Swapna Avastha, this is continuous, and this Niyati and its Pravaha, its flow is continuously in nature in this Jagata. That is what continue to ask. So after listening to this Kund dant says, no, what, how do I then reach to this thing? No? So that is where that Kadamba Tapasa, he tells to the Kund danta, now you please proceed to Ayodhya. That is where the Vaashishtha Muni is going to give this knowledge, how one can achieve this state, what I told you just now, being Atmagani, being Chidakasha, being experiencing that Chidakasha, how one can get into that self-realization. That knowledge is being imparted by Vaashishtha Muni to Lord Rama. And now you, who is telling this Kadamba Tapasa, is telling to the Kund danta, now you go there, and that is where you will get to hear it from Vaashishtha Muni. And that is where the Rama says to the now to Vaashishtha Muni that that Kund danta, which I was talking about, he is here now and he is listening to you now. Look at the story from where it went, and that Kund danta is actually listening to into that court along with Rama, and that is the things he puts forward in front of Vaashishtha Muni, that now this tell me what is the things, what is happening here. So that is where now Rama asks that Like this, into this thing, Vashishtha is now looking at the Kund danta, and now he says that now you only tell, you share your experience when you were hearing me out. What is it that happened with you? Now that is where that Kund danta starts saying his experience when he's listening to the Yog Vaashishtha. He says that Bhagwan, when I was listening to you, all the doubts that were there in my mind, that vanished, they just melted. No, and I'm able to experience that Nirmal, that simple, that Nirupadrava Shanta Chitta, and I am experiencing to that has gone into that state when I'm able to experience the complete upashama, that complete peace of mind. And this is really the reason, this is the word that this Vani was the real thing, that my chitta has actually completely calmed down, and into that Akhanda Atmagyan is I am experiencing. So into this Shuddha, this is pure, that thing, something which is near dosha, without any dosha, Niramaya Drishtatva, that whatever I have seen into that Sakala Praptata, that is what I have experienced in my, that Paramapada, I am really feeling very calm and very peaceful. And into this Mukha, and whatever that I'm words that I am speaking, my words are not enough to express that experience which I am going through, that Paramartha Ghana is that is thing. So this is the Falita Vijnana Vishranti of the Shastra Shravana. The words that were coming out of Vashishtha's mouth has given this as the real life experience which is coming out of the Kund danta mouth. So amazing. So that has become his own Atma Sakshatkara, that has become his own Anubhava. So he says, continues says that in this Deha, this body, even though it's ajal, that is there, actually it's ajal. It's not, it appears as the stool, but inside that also, that Chaitanya only is what exists. And what is the one, how does one can get inside that? It is the Chitta. When the Chitta is there, it is the Ugra Rupa of the Chitti only. That it is the Chaitanya, it's taken into the form of Chitta, and now Chitta starts imagining this entire different world. So if you look at it from that perspective, your mind, that mana is only that Purusha, which keeps on doing all this thing in this Jaga, into this, all this Anu, into this Jaga, that the Jiva Bhava is that Chaitanya, and that mind is what it says, that I am this body, I am this, that, and that. So it is the mind only which is really taking all these different forms, but they are just like dream. They are not real in nature. They just that dream that one sees into this mind. That is how it continues. So after listening to all these things, all these avasthas, that is where the Vashishtha Muni tells to Rama. He says that I have told you about this, that this is what is this Chidabhasa. This is called Jiva. This Jiva Bhava is called, individual consciousness is called the Chidabhasa. Say it as a mind, man. No, like that, into this Chitrarupi, the Chidakasha, that Chaitana Spurana, that thing that comes out of it, that Sukshma Jiva, that Ativahik Shari, that subtle body things, that is, even that subtle body is not the real Rupa of that. The Chaitanya is even beyond that, something which is Akasha, which is even smaller than the Akasha, that Shunyati thing, that which never diminished, that which always there. And like that, until you become the moksha, until you become free, like that, into all these things. So many of such people into this Chitta Bhumi have appeared in the past, appearing now also, and will be there, such samsara, into the future also. But into this Kala Vyavastha, into this Kala Kramana, that things that one has achieved the fruit of based on their Sanchit Karma, the past karma, and their effects of that becomes which the prarabdha for them, like this Titi. This thing is continuously happening into this world as a cause and effect. But it's again just an imaginary. So into this Vayurup Chitta Dega, that for experiencing that Bhoga, one really goes and takes the form of this Thula Deha. No? That okay, this sanskara is there, that is there, because of that sanskara, now I need to go and pay for that. I need to experience that because of that vasana, because of that sanskara, because that deep-rooted sanskara once come in, again and again keep taking this body here. that is there. So this thing, now this is where the Rama asks question that this Brahma that is gets upon this hallucination, that thing, how does one really calm that? Here is where Rama says, Bhagwan, after listening to this, I really, whether it calls a Jagat Bhranti as an hallucination, or you just say wonder about it, wonder about it. But after that, even the dukkha, that sorrow that one has to go through, that will anyway come. You have told me again and again all these things, yet that question inside my mind is still there, and that sanchaya is still not going. You are saying that whatever the tarka, that logic that has been put here, despite of that, I am not feeling that samadhana, that trupti, that experience. No? And into a kshana, that thing, that antaryami, that 100% experience of that sthiti. What is it that I really need to do to experience that sthiti? That is where the Vaashishtha Muni says that Rama, whatever is you are saying, although it appears so real, just like into the swapna avastha, in the dream, this jagat sthiti, that only one thing that can help one is that tattva bodha, into that swarupa, and that is the only thing one can really diminish this dukkha and this sorrow of the body. That is where the Rama asks one more question to into these things, really all these things, after doing this, really this dukkha, will that get diminished into this swapna, this whatever the vishaya, that outgoing tendencies of that, and that pinda kalpana, that what we thought, and that sthulatva, that's real, with whatever the sthula, that real jagat bhavna, how that will really become calm. So this is where Vaashishtha says that it is because of the purva and apurva, into this Ghatna come into this chronological order. If you see this padartha, this matter, this utpatti and its the creation and its dissolution, if you think about that, really think it from that perspective, this vishaya, this puran, that wanting to go outside, and the stulata, that jada, that physical nature of the jagat, that real nature of the jagat, that will become calm. And if you see it from the perspective of it as a dream, that vishaya, that's Thula Pindabha, that vishaya was to that matter which you see into the form and various different forms, using this jnana bodha, these things, only this, because in the ignorance it appears to as form and jad vastu to you, but in reality was this prabodha jagruti that has come, this thula swapna bhavana also become nivritta, it will also diminish out of it. So he said that Rama, this avichara and vichar shakti, that because it is not there, then only this sankalpa matra, that thing, we are not able to realize it. But even from the smaller till the oldest, all they undergo to this dukkha. And this, because of this tattvajnana, this vichara is only that thing that really can take away from their dukkha out of this. And unless and until if the people are stuck into those vishayas, got stuck into this, that this is the real world, and they continue to get attracted towards the vishayas and outgoing tendencies of its mind, that point of time they will be stuck in. The only upaya for them to is do this chitta nasha. This once they do go and do this chitta nasha, then that time of time all these other samagris, they will become very weak, and one can really experience that. So he also explained the thing of here, something called as bhumika and the paripaka and the kram. What is the things? So he said there are three types of drishtis. That drishtikon is what we spoke. So that vision comes into mind. So the first one is comes the pamar drishti. The second one is the yogtik drishti, and then the third one is the tattva drishti. So the one normal people start looking at these things into this world just with a pamar drishti, they do not get it. The one then apply the tarka, then shravana, manana, vichara, vimarsha, then that becomes the second type of drishti. So the first, the other two, the second and third one helps you to do this, or the when this, then this, the third one, that is the tattva drishti. So that is the by doing the contemplation, the study continuously, same thing again and again, then that will firmly establish into your antakarana, and then you will become the you will be able to see the sakshatkara, that spuranari drishti. That is something which is the tattva drishti. That is what will happen. So into this one has to drop this Pamar Drishti, the first one. They are already used. So the second and third will help you to do that. Then the second one also has to go off. Then the Sakshat Tattva Darshan, that Tattva, that Sanket will appear to you. And in like that, whatever the things that which I have explained, this Shastra and Anusarana, means the following that thing in your life, all this Drishya, Drishta, Darshan, all this Jiva Bhava will not remain, and Abhava of that Shunyata, that Jagat Brahma will also disappear into that, and you will, till that point of time, you continue to walk on this path, and such a Tattva Anusandana, like that, you will go really become that Bhumika, that one you have to just do the Dharana. Then the Paripak, it will be established like that into this Krama, into this chronology, you continue that point of time, one after another, that one step will be formed, second step will be formed, like that you walk on this multiple step, that point of time your Swanubhava will become Druda. Till that point of time you continue to put the effort, and with that effort, all these Indriyas, all these five senses and its Vyapara, its outgoing tendencies and its action, Nirod, put a full stop to that. Don't get entangled into it. Become into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Practice the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, practice the meditation. And like that, you will be able to do. So like that, only this, using the Vairagya, the meditation, you can put full stop to all these tendencies of this Vishaya Sammoha. And even if somebody comes and tell you, okay, let's come on, enjoy this Vishaya, but you don't listen to them, you don't see them, don't listen to it. Other than that, what should I tell you, Rama? Is it इसके अलावा और क्या बताओ तुम्हें, इतना सब कुछ तो already बता दिया. So what is the effect of this? How does the Rama actually get the Tattva Sakshatkara is something we'll see tomorrow. And day after tomorrow, we will have an celebration, that Falashruti of this, no? The entire Sar, the Falashruti of this. What are the benefits that one gets when they listen to the Yog Vaashishtha? We'll see what Yog Vaashishtha Muni shares and what other people shares, and we'll also listen to your own experiences. What is it that you got as a Falashruti of this? That is something we'll celebrate that as a 31st December, the end of this year. So it will be a combined program for the IMeditate Club team and the Yog Vaashishtha Parivar. So we'll celebrate that thing day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see how does Rama really experiences the Tattva Sakshatkara on himself. For today, I'd like to take a pause. I'd like to hand over this session to all of you. You are welcome to ask any questions if there are any, or else you are also welcome to express your takeaways and your learnings from today's session. Over to you all. Jai Gurudev. Unmute option is already been made available. Jai Gurudev. किसी को अपने आप को व्यक्त करना है तो आप अनम्यूट करके व्यक्त कर सकते हो. कुछ प्रश्न है तो वो भी पूछ सकते हैं.
जय गुरुदेव.
जय गुरुदेव संगीता जी.
Yeah, the story was very beautiful, and with lot of learning in this, I could feel that still, when in those times also, when they used to meditate, they still had that desire in them, you know, for meditating, even though it is being a lord of the earth. So even that is a desire, right? So any desire, like doesn't lead you into that no thing, that void which is there, which you have to merge yourself in that. So that was one point I found out. And still it is something below, no, than being a Brahman. Any desire, it doesn't take you to merge into that Brahman. That was there. But on the whole, it was a very beautiful story, and how Rama also says, and ultimately even they have to come for that moksha from, even though they become also, but then again they have to come for that moksha also from there also. So again it is a bondage. And the best thing again we have been seeing, as we see every day, ki how this pure consciousness, which is non-dual, eternal, all pervading, exists and is known as the world. We say it world, but it is merely an objectivity, of all this. When it is removed, what remains is the world of diversity, and that is the truth. So that is there. Everything when you see outside, again, it is only the consciousness which is being manifested from that infinite, and you get it as an infinite experiences. The waking state of consciousness also stands exactly in the same relation to the Turiya, that is a transcendental state. So that is that dream state, and which is really equally relation to the deep sleep state. So it is that Turiya state of consciousness that an enlightened person experiences. So that is very beautiful. Again, all the dreams, if you see the world as a dream, you are out of that pain and sorrow, and you are in the state of realization of the truth. That is what it is. So again, just as ice, they say the nature of the ice is the coolness, right? So इसी तरह से जब किसी को भी अपना साक्षात्कार हो जाता है, that person lives a very natural life. So everything is very natural to him, without aspiring anything, or without saying no to anything, abandoning anything. So it just goes on. That is very beautiful. And it keeps on repeating the same thing is being repeated. Actually, as you said, these are the steps which come up. We have to take them to reach to this state of mind. And then when you are firmly established, that is where you are. So let us have that experience. And the other thing was regarding the memory. So even nothing, when it strikes into your memory, there is no image form. So then there is nothing, that karma doesn't come up. So being in the activity every day, being natural, just as there is no memory in them. And then there are no blocks building in that. So in the absence of memory, we keep on doing. Those who have experienced that Brahman, they keep on doing it. Yeah. So that was very good. And of course, there are many more other takeaways also, but I would like to pass it on to everyone to have their sharing, and then we can go ahead. Over to you, Jai Gurudev.
जय गुरुदेव संगीता जी, that was a very beautiful sharing. Thank you so much. और किसी को अपना आपको व्यक्त करना है, if you like to express yourself, or if you have any question, you are welcome to ask, or if you want to express yourself, you are welcome to do that. If not, then we'll conclude today's session so that we meet tomorrow.
Okay. Jai Gurudev, what is Nirnay?
Repeat it.
Hello?
हाँ सविता जी, प्रश्न फिर से पूछिए.
Yes. Yes, so there was a word Nirnay in between in this story. What is the meaning of that Nirnay?
Can you just type it out? I am not able to hear you properly.
Okay.
Or anyone else got her what she's telling? You can just type it out or unmute yourself and say.
She's telling Nirnay. Nirnay means to take a decision. Nirnay.
Nirnay is the decision. Yeah. Nirnay means decision.
Yes. In this story, there was there was some there was some chitta, and it was forming some. It was taking some form of like forming a new new Brahmanda, or whatever was told in this story, that this chitta decides to take that form.
Yes, so see, what was the confusion over there? Initially, when she started listening the story, that there is a boon. यहाँ पे एक ऐसे वर दे दिया है कि आप आठों के आठों पृथ्वी के अधिपति बन जाओगे। अभी अगर पृथ्वी एक ही है तो सब आठों के आठों पृथ्वी के अधिपति कैसे बनेंगे ना? तो एक प्रश्न आता है मन में ना, इट्स अ नेचुरल क्वेश्चन दैट कम्स, हाउ डज ऑल ऑफ देम विल बिकम? सो दैट इज वेयर दिस थिंग कम्स इनटू पिक्चर, दैट हाउ डज दैट एक्चुअली हैपेंस, दैट उनको जो वर मिला होता है वो एक्चुअली वहां पे घर पे आते हैं, अपने साथों के आठों अपनी बीवियों के साथ रहते हैं, बीवियों के साथ रहते रहते उनकी मृत्यु हो जाती है। मृत्यु होने के बाद वो उसी घर में ही रहते हैं, जैसे वो लीलावती पद्मराजा का बॉडी वहां पे, शरीर उनका चित्त वहां पे वो लीलावती के साथ ही उसी हॉल में रहता है, गृह में। वैसे इन आठों का भी जो चित्त रहता है वो उधर ही रहता है, उनका आतिवाहिक शरीर, आत्मा जो भी है वो उसको छोड़ के नहीं जा सकता, उसको उनका अर्थ वर्ता है, तो वो भी फुलफिल हो जाता है उनका वर। और वो फिर जब चित्ताकाश स्वरूप में होते हैं तो चित्ताकाश स्वरूप में तो उसको भी पॉसिबल है, चित्ताकाश स्वरूप में आप पर्वत बना लेते हो, तो वैसे ही चित्ताकाश स्वरूप में वो फिर उसी में सप्तद्वीप का अर्थ को भी बना लेते हैं, वो उसी के अर्थ को अधिपति होके उधर कार्य भी करने लगते हैं। वैसे इट्स लाइक देयर नेक्स्ट बर्थ, सो ऑल ऑफ देम क्रिएट्स देयर ओन अर्थ। पॉसिबल है ना उनके लिए, क्या अलग अलग चित्ता के लिए वो पॉसिबल है, उनके लिए कुछ भी हो सकता है उसमें। वो अपना एक ब्रह्मांड वहां पे अलग से बना के उसी में वो सब कुछ करते रहते हैं, बिकॉज वो सब कुछ चित्त। यहाँ पे वो बताते हैं ना कि इस चिदाकाश में इतना सब कुछ है, ये कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, इसमें आश्चर्य जैसी क्या बात है? ब्रह्मदेव, इसमें आश्चर्य क्या लग रहा है? तो ऐसे हजारों ब्रह्मांड तो ऑलरेडी, हजारों लाखों करोड़ों ब्रह्मांड तो अनगिनत ब्रह्मांड ऑलरेडी है इनमें, और ये 8 नए हो गए तो कौन सी बड़ी बात होगी? ये बात बताइए। तो बोलते हैं वो सब चित्त का खेल है, ये सब चित्त का माया का खेल चल रहा है, उसको समझो तुम, उस बात को जान दो, तो फिर तुम्हें समझ में आएगी कि ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है। बिकॉज ये एक स्टोरी नहीं, बोलते ऐसी इस दुनिया में ऐसे बहुत चित्र विचित्र घटनाएं घटती है जिसको लॉजिकली तुम समझ नहीं पाते। बिकॉज लॉजिक इज समथिंग रिलेटेड टू, हम लोग वहां पे लॉजिक डाल देते हैं तो तर्क से बैठता नहीं है बात, बोलते लेकिन यही एक ही तर्क है, ये तर्कों का महातर्क जो है, ये वितर्क जो है, बोलते यही एक ही फीट बैठता है कि ये सब कुछ काल्पनिक है। तभी ही तुम्हें ये चीजें, तुम इसको समझा पाओगे या समझ पाओगे और उससे मुक्त भी हो पाओगे, नहीं तो अटकाने के लिए तुम्हें तो कोई तर्क नहीं पूरा नहीं पड़ेगा। सविता जी, आर यू गेटिंग द क्रस्ट ऑफ इट? ये सब कुछ इसके लिए सब कुछ पूरा होता है ना कि आप मुक्त हो जाओ, बिकॉज आप हम लोग फंसते हैं ऐसी सारी चीजों में। यही सारी चीजें अपने आजू बाजू में तो स्टोरी है, और बड़ी बड़ी बात कर दी पृथ्वी वगैरह बन गई, लेकिन छोटी छोटी चीजों के लिए यही चीज एप्लीकेबल है। हम लोग उसी में फंसते हैं, मुझे ये बनना है, मुझे वो बनना है, मुझे ऐसा करना है, मुझे वैसा करना है, और इन इच्छाओं का अंत नहीं है कहीं पे भी। चित्ताकाश वैसे वैसे बॉडी लेते रहता है, विशियस लाइफ साइकिल के बर्थ, और इसमें फंसा। तो इस करने का उपाय एकमेव उपाय है कि तुम आत्मज्ञान को, अपने आप को उस तक पहुंचो और इसको छोड़ो। जब तक इसको पहुंचोगे नहीं, आत्मज्ञान तक पहुंचोगे नहीं। तो उसका ये हो जाए, निराश हो जाए, उसको इसका निग्रह हो जाए, इस विषयों का निग्रह हो जाए, आउटगोइंग टेंडेंसीज का निग्रह हो जाए, इस चित्त का निग्रह हो जाए, चित्त रमस रजस और तमोगुण को छोड़ के सत्व में आ जाए। यह सारा चीज मुक्ति के लिए है। और उसका है वो ऐसे पहले वो भूमिका धारण करो, फिर वो जब तक परिपाक नहीं होती तब तक अपने स्वप्रयत्न। और ये कोई ऐसा नहीं कि अरे हमें क्यों ऐसा लग रहा है, राम की वजह से स्थिति है, इतना सब कुछ रामायण महाभारत हो गए फिर तो उनको भी बताया, देखो भाई इसके ये मैं क्या बताऊं, मैंने सब कुछ बता दिया, अभी तुम्हें करना है सब कुछ, जो भी करना है, मेरा बोलना था मैंने कर दिया, मैंने सब बता दिया, कुछ नहीं रखा बोलते वशिष्ठ मुनि अपने पास, मैंने जो बताया था वो सब कुछ मैंने बताया।
Yes, ये अग्नि और वायु और आकाश ये कैसे फॉर्म होते हैं?
हाँ,
ये अग्नि वायु आकाश ये सब कैसे फॉर्म होते हैं?
अग्नि आकाश कैसे फॉर्म होते हैं? ये क्या होता है पता है क्या? जब उत्पत्ति होती है ना किसी भी चीज की, तो उस वक्त क्या होता है, पहले ये चिदाकाश अक्षर में आता है, माने चैतन्य जो अविशिष्ट है। कौन चैतन्य? दुनिया में कोई नहीं जानता, हम लोग उसको चैतन्य बोल रहे अपनी समझ के लिए। ओके, सचमुच में क्या है कोई नहीं जानता, नोबडी नोस। उसको हम लोग बुला रहे चैतन्य। कोई उसको परब्रह्म बोलता है, चैतन्य बोलता है, शिव बोलता है, और कोई 10,000 नाम मिल जाएंगे आपको, पढ़ोगे तो इधर। वो चीज जो है हम लोग जानते नहीं उसको। कोई जानता है क्या? कोई नहीं जानता। उसको हम लोग बुला रहे कि भाई चैतन्य होता है, उसमें क्या होता है, एक स्फुरण उठ जाता है, विषयों का स्फुरण उठ जाता है। चैत्य कहा गया है उसको। किसने नाम दिया? हमने ही अपने समझने के लिए नाम दिया कि उसको चैत्य होता है, चैत्य कहते हैं उसको। और चैत्य क्यों उठता है? बोलते कोई कारण नहीं है उसके पीछे, क्यों? कोई कारण नहीं है। जैसे समुद्र में लहर उठी है, गिर जाती है, फिर से उठती है, फिर से गिर जाती है, वैसे उस चैतन्य में वो अपने आप को व्यक्त करने की इच्छा उत्पन्न हो जाती है। क्यों उत्पन्न होती है? चैत्य क्यों उत्पन्न होता है? देयर इज नो कॉज एंड इफेक्ट, देयर इज नो रीजन। वो चैत्य उत्पन्न हो जाता है अपने आप को व्यक्त करने के लिए, फिर कुछ व्यक्त करने के लिए वो चित्त की निर्मित कर लेता है। कौन कौन कर रहा है? चित्त। चैत्य, चित्त नहीं, CHI। चित्त माने चैतन्य वाला चित्त। वो चित्त से चैत्य, और चैत्य को फुलफिल करने के लिए चित्त निर्मित। अभी चित्त की निर्मित होने के बाद फिजिकल कुछ हुआ ही नहीं। फिजिकल कुछ हुआ क्या? चित्त माने क्या? चित्त को दिखाएगा कोई है कि ये चित्त, चिड़िया का नाम ये चित्त है? कोई नहीं दिखा सकता। चित्त तो इमेजिनरी है, तो वो चित्त की इमेजिन। और चित्त जैसे स्वप्न देखता है, स्वप्न देखते समय आपको कोई सामग्री की जरूरत पड़ती है क्या? फिजिकल मैटर की जरूरत पड़ती है चित्त को? बिल्कुल नहीं। आप पर्वत देख लेते हो, सब कुछ देख लेते हो, आप हवा में उड़ने लगते हो, सब कुछ होता है आपके साथ स्वप्न में। ये तो अपना अनुभव है, अनुभव सिद्ध बात है कि स्वप्न में तो कुछ भी होता है। तो बोलते उनका चित्त ये सब कुछ देख लेता है। क्या दिखता है? तो बोलता है कि अभी मेरे को ना ऐसा ब्रह्मांड बनाना है, उसके लिए मेरे को पंच महाभूतों की जरूरत पड़ेगी। तो पंच महाभूतों के लिए वो फिर चिदाकाश कृत कर लेता है। किसकी बात चल रही है? मनुष्य की नहीं, उस चिदाकाश की बात चल रही है, चैतन्य की। वहां पे वो चिदाकाश निर्माण हो जाता है, और उस चिदाकाश में ही फिर वहां पे वायु तत्व आ जाता है, अग्नि तत्व आ जाता है, हाँ, जल तत्व आ जाता है, पृथ्वी तत्व आ जाता है, पांचों एलिमेंट पंच महाभूत आ जाते हैं। पंच महाभूतों के साथ किसने निर्माण किया पंच महाभूतों को? जो समष्टि का जो चित्त था उसने। निर्माण एक्चुअली में हुआ क्या? नहीं, अपने चित्त में स्वप्न के बाद ही पंच महाभूतों को निर्माण किया। असलियत में फिजिकली कुछ निर्माण नहीं हुआ, अपने चित्त में निर्माण कर लिया। कौन रोक सकता है किसी को? ऐसे 5 एलिमेंट्स होते हैं, ऐसा सोचने से कि चित्त को कौन रोक सकता है? कोई नहीं रोक सकता। 5 एलिमेंट उन्होंने उस 5 एलिमेंट के साथ पंच तन्मात्रा भी दे दी। उसकी जो शक्तियां, कौन सी पंच तन्मात्रा? जो ये शीत आकाश में आपका जो रस रूप गंध, जो सारे जो 5 सेंसेस होते हैं, वो पंच तन्मात्रा आ गए। वो पंच महाभूत और पंच तन्मात्रा को बना के एक ऐसे यहाँ पे पंचेंद्रिया और अपना स्थूल शरीर या पृथ्वी आदि जो जड़ और चेतन दोनों जो है, जीव और जो जड़ है, वो उसकी दोनों की यहाँ पे उत्पत्ति कर दी। उत्पत्ति कैसे हुई? फिर से चित्त में। अभी चित्त में पृथ्वी बना दिया, चित्त में सूर्य बना दिया, आकाश गंगाएं बना दी, ऐसे कई सारे ब्रह्मांड बना दिए। किसके चित्त में? समष्टि के चित्त में। ऐसे करते करते उसी का रिप्लिका एक जीव भाव अपने चित्त में भी आ गया। हमने भी अपने आप को अलग मान लिया और अपना चित्त माने चिदाकाश समष्टि, अपना चित्त आकाश, अपना इंडिविजुअल चित्त आकाश व्यष्टि, ऐसे दोनों रूप में आ गया। तो अभी यह जो व्यष्टि का जो था अपना चल रहा है। तो यह जो 8 लोग थे ना, ये बड़े वाले चिदाकाश में, यह जो 8 जो बंधु थे, यह जब मर गए तो इनका खुद का अपना चित्ताकाश है, और इनके खुद के चित्ताकाश में अपनी अपनी ब्रह्मांड बना लिया। 8 डिफरेंट डिफरेंट ब्रह्मांड बन के उसी के ऊपर पृथ्वी बना लिया। 8 पृथ्वी कैसे बना ली? चित्त के अंदर बन गई ना वो। चित्त के अंदर बनने के लिए क्या प्रॉब्लम है उनको? चित्त के अंदर अपनी पृथ्वी बना ली, उसी की राजा बन गए, उसके अधिपति बन गए। ऐसे संभव हुआ, बिकॉज ये अदरवाइज संभव नहीं है। यहाँ पे बैठ के अभी 8 पृथ्वियां कहाँ से क्रिएट करेंगे? यहाँ पे संभव नहीं है ना, लॉजिकल नहीं लगता वो, लेकिन वो चित्त में हो रहा है इसलिए वो संभव है। तो ऐसे हुआ वो। तो ये समझाने का प्रयोजन क्या है अपने को, कि भाई ये सारी चीजें सिर्फ उस चित्त में चल रही है। स्वप्न के बाती इतना डर डर के, इतना मर मर के मत जियो लाइफ में, इतना दुख मत करो, ऐसे फंस मत, इसके पीछे इतना दौड़ो मत। यह मिथ्या है, यह अनरियल वर्ल्ड है। क्यों फंसे हो इस संसार? यह प्रयोजन है इसका बताने का। यस, इज दैट क्लियर?
Yes, thanks.
ओके। यहाँ पे माधुरी जी का कहना है कि ऋषि जी का जो डिमाइस हुआ था उसके लिए लोगों को मैसेज था, वो हम कहाँ पे देख सकते हैं? कौन सा मैसेज? इसके लिए तो काफी सारे मैसेजेस आए हैं माधुरी जी। Anyway, we'll take this offline. It's not a part of this. I'll definitely talk to you
I
about
would like to add. Okay.
Go ahead, Sangeeta.
Yeah, I would like to add, in Yog Vaashishtha, it is said that a crow comes and sits on the coconut tree and a coconut falls. Is there a relation between both of them? No, just a crow comes, he sits on the coconut tree and a coconut falls. Exactly in the same way is the world is created. वो सिर्फ एक दिखता है, but वो अंदर से, बाहर से, ऊपर से, नीचे से, आगे से, पीछे से, it's full of Brahman. That infinite consciousness, it is full of Brahman. So there is nothing such as world. It appears to you, but there is nothing there. So that is that when that oneness comes in you, everything else will be dissolved. And that, just as Someshwarji said and explained so well, it is only your mind creation that is there, you know that. And if you go to see even their city, the story which we see, isn't it that every family of that person wants to be the lord of that earth? He's the lord, he rules it. He, you know, अपनी family को चलाते हैं, so he's a lord of that earth, no? So like that, everybody has that so many universes nowhere. It's just here in your chitta. Actually, everybody is the lord of that earth there. Every husband is going to have that dominating thing on them, on his family, and he rules it. That is the way it is going on, isn't it? So again, it is a dream. So until you see everything as a dream, you can't go ahead. That is what I feel. So everything, whatever you see, जहाँ तक जाती दृष्टि है, वो सब माया है, सब माया. Maya means changeable. Maya means nothing permanent. But that only one is that permanent. So let us be with that. That is the point actually. I could feel that, Someshwarji, and I just added. Yeah?
Absolutely. माधुरी जी, आप कुछ यहाँ पे टाइप कर रहे हैं, आप प्रश्न आप बोल लीजिए ना, आप अनम्यूट करके बात कीजिए. That will be much easier. Are you there, माधुरी जी? ओके, ठीक है. चलिए आज के सत्र को हम लोग यहाँ पे रोक लेते हैं. We'll conclude our session. जय गुरुदेव.